Got it.
Boy, at the QT.
You can see that?
And I see everything.
Them QTs be heavy out there in the Metroplex. You got so many QTs out there, boy.
There's too many of them. There's one every 5 miles. I'll be like, y'all in competition with yourself.
Bruh, it's wild. It's like it's all they got out there is QTs and 7-Elevens.
They be owned by the same person. They ain't even competing like that.
That's true.
That's all money coming in.
And that's how you dominate the game.
Right.
All money in.
All money in.
I got a client
all of them.
He put me on that game. I was like, dang, like that's really elite, bro.
What, a gas station? On the gas station?
He got 2 gas stations right across the road from each other.
Yeah.
Like literally across the road. It don't matter where you go, you finna put paper in his pocket.
Yeah. That makes the game easy. All right. So it's live on YouTube. If y'all want to share that.
Open up Facebook like a whole person.
Been old, bro. It's wise, like a wise person. You so seasoned. You so seasoned, huh?
A wise man ain't on social media.
You don't think so? I think a 2023 wise man is.
Possibly. They might have a platform, but they ain't on there like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too much negativity on there.
Oh man. Negativity everywhere. Let's see.
Yeah, go ahead and drop that link on your page, no?
Man, you know, I'm trying to do it right now. I got to do it on my phone because my computer. My brother done logged into the computer, so he logged me out. He over here messing up my whole little vibe over here.
Yeah, HP over here messing up my whole little vibe. My camera don't work, so you know, Apple. This is a perfect opportunity for y'all to do a sponsorship. I need a MacBook over here.
I just dropped that link too. So, and one of my partners said, if you see a big turtle in heights, it's his. So please bring it to him. He just dropped that 16 minutes ago on Facebook. So if y'all see a large turtle in Parker Heights, Texas, that is my partner's turtle. That is traveling.
How did this turtle escape?
You know what? I don't even know.
They don't move that fast.
This is why they don't move that fast. But lost a whole turtle out here. But we ain't losing the mission statement. So BAL Podcast mission statement. We're the #1 mentorship for mindset development, career ascension, education, and leadership cultivation. We are authentic, positive, and we have respect for people. And we like to have a great sense of humor, like to be funny, like to have a good time. You know, I was always told if you're not having fun, then life can't be funny. So welcome back to the BAL Podcast. It's your boy K.Sloan here with the homies.
J.Jones.
J.Jones. We got the brain.
Your boy Nate G.
Nate G in the house. And you got the Wise of Wop the Wisdom with the Fearless Foundation logo on.
Already.
MrliftN'Go.
The man of God.
No.
Man of God. Just got done serving the people.
Serving of the king.
Tell the people what you just got done doing, bro.
Cleaning the church.
The most simple answer you can say. I mean, that's the truth.
It's the truth. You a real one for that, though, bro.
Cleaning, painting. What else y'all do?
That's it. Just repaint the floors and everything.
Keeping it going. Keeping things right. Keeping things in order.
Dallas Cowboys for life.
Shout out to the Bears, though. You know what I'm saying? We the actual winners around here this week, so I had to put on my Bears jersey.
He doesn't watch football.
I did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that.
He watched the Sunday night game.
I watched what? You said what?
Whatever game that was. That was our
America watch
JV. Y'all
track.
don't know. That was our JV.
That was what?
That was our JV team. That wasn't the real. That was our JV.
Oh,
That was what we got called.
so y'all JV quarterback player too? That's what that means?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, JV quarterback. Let's go ahead and send that letter in. Let's go ahead because I wonder who the varsity quarterback is. That's my question. That's the
Play Cooper Rush.
It's about to be Trey Lance. We might as well put in Trey.
It's like that.
Nah,
Bro, this is the Cowboy fan base right here.
Nah,
Y'all hear it?
it's not that.
Y'all gonna hear it in 3 weeks. Jarrell gonna be talking about Super Bowl. 3 weeks.
I was joking right now. We 3-2. We ain't out of anything right now. 3-2 is the record. One game. It's just one game.
Well, luckily, this is a psychological podcast, so you know what I'm saying. We psychologically gonna be healing today. We gonna heal today. Let's get into it, man. I wanted to talk about this topic because it's been buzzing a lot on social media. I don't know if y'all seen the post with the teacher that was complaining about the reading levels of the students nowadays. I think we all maybe have either grazed, you know what I'm saying, that post or been hearing some feedback on it on social because it's been going crazy. But my dad actually brought it up to me, which brought it to my attention. But I pulled up a stat in regards to reading levels, and the stat said that 7 out of 10 fourth graders in Texas are reading below reading level. 7 out of 10. So they polled 7 out of 10 fourth graders at an area, and that was the stat. And when you're looking at the reading levels and just reading in general, I mean, this is near and dear to my heart. I think that is very difficult for people to get into reading as a general statement. I think most people would tell you that they're not readers because of maybe it's being boring. They can't focus that long. They don't like sitting down in that way. They'd rather listen to audiobooks, which is reading, you know, but maybe they are. What you say, DeMarcus?
It's not.
It's not. I think it. So this adds to the conversation. So I think this is going to be a great topic to dive into because I'll sit here and say, as a reading teacher, English language arts teacher, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I think the biggest misconception is that everybody thinks you need to be sitting down with a book to be reading. I think that's one way to do it. I believe. I think when you pigeonhole people into believing that the only way to effectively read is sitting down with a book, you turn people off of it. And some people say, I'm not a reader. I don't do that. For example, I would have students, I would go to the library when I first started teaching, and I would take them to the library and I let them go pick a book. And they would be like, Mr. Sloan, I don't know what book I want to read. I don't want to read no books. But the problem would come with when we go in there, the librarians would steer them away from the books with pictures in it. And that's the books they wanted. These are 8th graders that wanted to read books with pictures in it. And my problem was this: if the kid want to read the book, let them read the book. It got words in it. Because when you tell them that they can't read that book and you shame them for reading that book, now they don't want to read nothing because they don't want to read the novels you got, the check, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And then you say it's not at grade level and this and that, but you're discouraging a reader from reading. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of part of this story, but y'all go ahead and add to it. What's your thoughts?
Well, how do you correlate that to audiobooks? Because I don't believe audiobooks is reading.
Yeah. Just because you can absorb information don't mean you read. You can listen and take the information from the book, but if you can't actually read the word and understand what the words are saying, you can't read. So
to piggyback off what you're saying, there's a strategy. There's a guy that's a professional. He's an expert in this field. His name is he's an expert in language acquisition. Is what he's expert in. His name is John Seidlitz, right? Mm-hmm. And when I first started teaching, John Seidlitz's strategies include listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So those are like the fundamental principles of comprehending text, right? So you have to get repetitions in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So if I'm listening to text, then I'm building my vocabulary. When I listen to you use the word befuddled in context, it helps me understand what the word befuddled means. It does. It really, bro, you shake your head no, but it's
right on that. But can they read befuddled off of paper?
I'm saying you can't read that just because you know what the word is and you know how to use it. I mean, you read that.
But that's one part of it. So there's 4 parts of it, right? So that's one part. So when you listen to it, if I just literally use the word befuddled to you all day long, right? You still don't know how to read it per se, but you can hear it and pick it up in your brain, right? You befuddled. Now, phonetically, there you go. Phonetically, when you read that word and you're trying to sound that word out, you've heard it before, so it's easier to sound out once you've heard it. So that kind of adds to the actual fluency part of it. This is why when we read certain words that we've never actually read before, but we've heard them, it flows. So it kind of adds to your text fluency. So the other side of this is the actual reading part. So kids can read stuff that they don't understand, right? I could put a book in front of a kid that he can't understand nothing that's in that book, but he can read the words smoothly. And because he can read them smoothly, then that can add to his comprehension. He'll learn more from it because he can read it without hiccups.
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But how does that really apply? Because I still watch adults read with their fingers.
That's what I'm saying. That's not a problem either. That's not a problem. That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with your reading level. That has nothing to do with your comprehension.
The average American citizen does not read past an 8th grade level.
Right. But the average American citizen's reading level is based upon standardized tests that we've created state to state, which are biased in their creation. So it's like we assess reading levels, bro, off of stuff that don't apply to everybody. It's like everybody's not good test takers. So if you fail a test in 9th grade, that shows that you are at a 5th grade reading level because you don't enjoy sitting down and annotating the text and answering A, B, C, D on a test format, bro. You can have a 3rd grade, 4th grade reading level.
I think that's fair.
That's fair to say.
I think you're smudging the line, but I follow you though.
I'm definitely smudging the line. That's why I want to know y'all's thoughts. I knew what I was gonna say. That's what I want to know what y'all gonna say. I knew what I was gonna say. I'm waiting for y'all to add to this.
If you're in school, and I get it, because I know a whole bunch of athletes that were way smarter than they showed. But
exactly.
If you notice a standardized test, like if you know this is a test that matters, you know what I'm saying? I would think most people would try. I think most people can't read past it.
You know what the answer to that is, though, Drew? I've been really good for plenty of episodes, so forgive me, Sloan. The answer is, they don't give a damn.
Yeah,
that's the answer, bro. They don't care.
Well, who breaks my
take a test? You know you don't. I was just at the school last year. I worked standardized tests. You know how many kids pulled up with no pencil?
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't care. It's not the anxiety and all of that stuff that's real. And y'all know I respect the mental health. We got to take care of that part of things. We also cannot keep using that as an excuse for failure. And failure a lot of times comes from you just do not care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But how do you bust my care though? Like, how do you break my will in education? How do you break my will in learning how to read? How do you do that?
Me having, I'll literally somebody just was shooting over here. Okay.
Drive away. Run.
You might need to pull off, brother. You might. Hey, safety first, man. You go ahead and hit the reverse, bro.
Yeah. I got my back. I can see everything in front of me. I was just looking. Anyways, I have kids, and they will fight you. And I know you having students, you can tell this too. They will fight you on reading things when they can have something being, like you said, an audiobook being read to them, or they could just simply find the answers or whatever on the internet, cheat their way through school, and then when it comes to the standardized test where they can't use a utensil to cheat with, then you see the real grade. I got a child that on worksheets and regular work makes 195 on almost everything. I'm like, you not that you're not that smart. You haven't applied yourself that well, because some of this stuff I know, and I'll ask you a roundabout question about it, and you don't know the answer. Then when it gets to the test that you took over the same information that you were getting 100 on everything, now you got a 53. So something shows that you do actual work.
I literally gave the kids the answers to tests last year. Here, you're going to see this question. Make sure you read the word that it says and put this answer down. And kids would sit there and be like, yeah, Mr. Golden, yeah, Mr. Golden. And I look and it's like a 36.
Yeah.
You, child of God, got a 36.
You child of God.
Because
look,
you didn't read.
Hey, but y'all, I was even, because I talked to my grandmother about a month ago about encyclopedias.
Right.
Like, we didn't have Google, so we had to read. So I get what you're saying, Karen. You all right, DeMarcus?
DeMarcus is out there checking the block.
Get
okay, Mr. LiftN'Go. Make sure
no.
you know his surroundings.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
That's a whole bunch of crap. Yeah, you went to good.
Somebody
Just for real. But no, like I was saying, if we wanted information, my grandmother had like A through Z encyclopedia. She'd make us go look for it. Like DeMarcus just said, Google and what's the chat GP, whatever. I don't even know what that is.
GPT.
Yeah, like they don't. If somebody told me I can get 100 in a class without trying, I mean, it's I can't say it's teacher's fault, but it's technology's fault.
No,
yeah, I'm about to say.
It's the access to information that is hurting the generations to now and the generations to come, because they have access to the information, but they don't have to know the information.
Right.
Just like Kerry was just talking about. They don't have to actually know the information. They can hear it and then have some type of reference to it, but they don't know it. It's just a reference point.
But
you know what I'm saying? So
I find it hard to blame a tool for
no. It's just the misuse of a tool.
Right.
Because just like he was just saying, when I was a kid, as the internet was here, but it wasn't like it is now. And you had to go to an encyclopedia and research something and go and find it and read so much of it to get answers, to finish a project, to whatever, to where you can misuse a tool like Chat GPT, and it can write a whole essay for you. But you just have a reference point. You didn't actually have to go and learn or even obtain or maintain any of the information you have. So it's there for a second. Yes, you can repeat it, but at the end of the time, if you don't have anything to maintain it in your mind or in a space to where you actually know what you're actually trying to get out of it, then it was just there for the point that it was there for. I mean, we did that to an extent for certain stuff, but
we still, that's what I'm saying. We do that now though, because what do we learn? Most of the stuff we learn for, we learn it to use it. So when you use the information, if you don't have a reason to keep using the information, you're going to brain dump. You can't just hold all this stuff just to hold it. So what I'm saying is, on my side of it, is even in the testing situations, you have certain students that are great test takers. I was a great test taker. Like, I knew how to turn it up when I needed to, because I could go in there and remember everything I needed from the review, kill the test, and you be looking at me like, oh, this is an excellent student. When in reality, my daily work, bro, I turned in like 4 assignments out of 16. You know what I'm saying? But my test scores were so high that it would average me out to about an 80.
I have kids. We are not advocating turning in 4 assignments out of 6.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
My household.
Don't ever turn.
This was
running for that. You will be. I don't condone whippings and all that because they're a little too old. They're teenagers, but they all gonna be in shape around here. Turning 4 assignments out of 16. I swear, for Lord, you gonna run until I get tired, and I'm gonna take them back on the
But no, okay, I remember your reviews.
I remember my reviews.
I remember your reviews.
Hey, those joints be extensive.
Those extensive. I got a lot of A's off your reviews. But but I also tried it. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, hold on. Before you leave that, what are y'all talking about? Because you just said I remember your reviews and they were extensive. What do you mean by extensive?
He basically the chapters, if basically a summary of every chapter, all the answers we needed. I mean, anything that was on the test that we reviewed, he would elaborate. He would put it on a piece of paper and just
I would take a document. I would take a document. Hold up. I would take a document, and whenever the teacher said, like Nate said, this is going to be on the test.
Yes.
Anything I heard that remotely sound like test, I put it on a sheet of paper. So what I would do the night before is I would go get me in college, masters, you know what I'm saying? We get our masters. I'll get some coffee. I'll sit down with that sheet of paper and I would master that paper. That paper was my son. I go in there the next day and I'm gonna get at least a 90. They like if I get anything less than 90, I'm pissed because I mastered the paper, but I didn't master the concept.
Hold on. Just before anybody says anything else. And what did you say was the 4 skills that you needed to know?
Listening, speaking, reading, writing.
Exactly.
So
but nobody does that to that extent, Kerry. My kids don't do that to that extent.
What you mean by that though? Like you talking about the
you
studying?
encompass all, even though you did it in a short period of time, you encompass all. It's almost like overworking a muscle. You encompass all in a short period of time. And yes, you gain that strength to take that test, and you didn't maintain it, but you gain that strength to take that test. And you also have recall too. That enhances your recall.
That's regurgitation.
You heard it, you wrote it, and you read it. So that's extensive recall, even if it is in a short period of time. That's not a reference that you're using.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. I mean, to a certain degree, I did learn it because some of those things I do remember vaguely, but I still, to this day,
you don't learn it if you can't apply it though. If you can't continuously apply it, you ain't really learning. You withheld it in your mind. You held it in your mind, and you can regurgitate it on the paper. And that's what test taking is for most people. A lot of stuff I just didn't care about when we was in school, but I could memorize it because okay, you said it. I memorized what you said. A lot of it, like a lot of stuff I learned was word association. Like, okay, you said this, it makes me think about this. So I see this word, boom, my brain can fire and I can put an answer down. I got a B if I wanted to. Cool. It don't really mean you learned something though. And that's where test taking and all like the standardized tests and all of that stuff is not the perfect answer. It's definitely not the be all end all to education. But when we talk about why is reading levels off, it's because ain't no effort there to actually try and learn how to read. Like I ain't talking about just can you take a test. I'm talking about actually look at some of the stuff that people do and tell me they can read because they can't.
So my question is this, right? What would be the solution to the essentially the epidemic, the problem that is that, you know, we have these low reading levels? What would you guys say would be one of the solutions that we could start with as us as adults, and not necessarily just put it on the kids, because it's not just on the kids, because our peers fall in this same category of people that unable to read for real. Like, so like
for the adults,
I think the application
you on your own at this point. For the kids, it's like what DeMarcus said, have accountability.
I mean, yeah, they are on their own, but I'm only saying this before you say what you're gonna say. You can still get better.
Do you want to?
The application. It has to be important.
Let me tell you this.
It has to be.
Darrell knows my level of math skill. I am sure if I wanted to, I could be really good at math. Yeah. Carry wholesale when I was in the 5th grade. I don't care. Right. I don't. I can balance my money.
That's the problem.
I don't care about algebra, bro. I don't.
That's the problem. That's how we struggle at things, is because we don't have an interest, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's the issue.
Kerry, I don't know if this goes on in your school. You know, my sister, I know other educators that are in school. So I think some of the lines have been smudged to the point to where it's a benefit for entertainment or the pastime for the child, but it's not in the benefit for them to get better as far as education as people. And what I mean by that is, I was talking to my son today, and I'm having some issues with my youngest right now. And I'm like, what was it about school that clicked for you that it can help me, you know, with the youngest one? And his thing was, he was like, well, we could listen to music, but you wouldn't allow me to listen to rap. You just say I just had to listen to like a beat or something, right? And I told him the reason why I used to say that is because you're trying to create a space of peace and not calamity, but peace and tranquility, so that you can focus or that you can really take in whatever you're trying to learn. As far as listen to rap or actual song, you're listening to it for entertainment and you're just kind of passing the time. So like I said, I think that line has been smudged, because now my kids go to high school and they got earphones in their ear from the time they get off the bus to the time they come home. And I just don't, I think we've made it too student friendly, for lack of better terms, instead of enforcing something. And I think that's just us as a whole, as educators, as parents, as leaders, and whatever you would have, is because if it's too easy for them and the information is being mishandled, I don't think it's benefiting them at all. I think it's just kind of pushing them through the system. And I got kids. I'll tell you, I think some of these kids, for lack of better terms, or what Nate will always say, are just gonna be dumb. Like they're not stupid, they're just dumb. They just feel like, oh, I can just go here and get this, or I can just go here and get this.
But to combat that though, just the only thing I'm gonna say, just because I think that culture is so overarching and so influential that there's no way to fight against culture other than with a change in the culture. Like the culture is going to reinforce the behaviors, the ideas. We're going to continue to see more models of the same people because of the culture. Unless the culture is changing. So what I'm saying is when you're looking at the culture and the culture of information being so readily available, that makes me feel like I know more than I do as a sixth grader, right?
Exactly.
That doesn't, like, we can't just automatically say, okay, look, you can't see that information no more. We can't block them from the information. They're gonna find it. Like whether I get it from my own phone, I get it from my friend's phone, I get it from TV, I'm gonna get it. Like it's gonna come to me. But I think the way we gotta kind of shift culture is, okay, what are we doing with the information that they have at their disposal? They have a lot of it. Like there's a lot of different ways to get this job done now. There's a million ways to skin a cat or whatever they say. So now it's at the point where the kids know at least, you know what I'm saying, 999,000 of the ways. So with that being said, just because they know it doesn't mean they know how to actually do it. They can't do it. But let's go ahead and break it down to them. Let's go ahead and show you. And as adults, same thing. If you don't know what Chat GPT is, and as an adult, right, and there's no talk down none of us, and nothing like that, it's our fault. Like they said, you flapping. Like we gotta know how to use these tools because the kids know and you don't. Who the fool? Like you know how to read all these books, but you can't even use the same app that they can use. It's like who the, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta look at it kind of.
My psychology term for the day is K.Sloan's razor. If y'all have ever heard of this, I don't know. K.Sloan's razor. I'm gonna read this what it say on Google. K.Sloan's razor is an adage or rule of thumb that states, never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. That's what we're talking about, bro. They dumb.
They just dumb.
Because I've said this before. You dumb for not trying. It's not that your brain actually don't fire and you can't get it. It's one thing if we go in there. That's what your 504 plan is. If I gotta go have that meeting and tell your mama, hey, look, Johnny look off. It might not click for Johnny. We got something going on. That's different. But when it is simply Johnny just ain't trying, Johnny's stupid, bro.
But that's not I disagree. I disagree. That's not Johnny being stupid.
I would take a piece of that and say that it's not being reinforced at home either.
Because Johnny, mama and daddy dumb too. No, I won't always go there either. Because I will say that it's lack of effort on both parties because I have lived that. So I ain't gonna what is the lack of effort though?
Environment.
Look, I had a situation to where I had a child that came home and literally told me that they had Tourette's, right? And look, this the abuse of information. Mm-hmm. So one student felt like they had Tourette's because they felt like a couple symptoms, got out of class, went to the nurse, went through this whole bundle thing, influenced my child to what's like, you got Tourette's too, look at all the symptoms and whatever, and just off the relationship that we have, if she would have never came home and told me that she had Tourette's, I wouldn't have been able to correct the information that she got. So it's also a lack of effort on the parents and the relationship, because as parents, my parents used to say this, and aunties and uncles used to be like, you don't have no privacy. You don't have this or that. Sometimes, like you're talking about Snap GPT, you got to go and try to figure it out yourself. And then connect the dots and be like, okay, what is my child getting, what type of information is my child getting. And we can't just put that on just the child, because that's ignorance. We can't put that on the school system because it's not their child. It's all a structure, but I believe a lot of that starts at home. A lot of us are lazy, man. A lot of us are lazy. I'm just going to be honest. I talk to a lot of parents, and I'll be honest. A lot of parents have gotten even more lazy with them having so much information and feeling like they should know it anyways. I don't have to investigate or whatever. You should just know it because you got so much information.
But that's exactly my point. When you chose to have that kid, and then that's your mindset on it, that I'm not really gonna put that much effort into it, that's in itself stupid. That's what I'm saying. It does start at home.
Can I challenge you in saying that if you're in the stem of survival, that sometimes survival can overtake?
Absolutely. I agree with you that a lot of people are in just survival mode.
Exactly.
But at the same time, to not want to get out of that, to not want to teach what we gonna transition into, to not teach your legacy, your kid, that there is something else that you can do, to me, that's dumb. You can't, why are you setting them up for the same continuous failure that you have? Because what that's really telling you is that you haven't grown as a person. Yes, it might have been real out here for you. You might be in survival mode. But when you have different life events that happen, having a child, you got to kick your mind into something different.
But see, that's why mentor programs are important. That's why mentoring, peer support, churches.
Some of these parents working two, like you said, survival, working 2 jobs, getting home, they probably going straight to bed, man. And that's why it, like y'all saying, it's the Marcus, you good? But it's oh, okay, yeah. But no, it's the whole, it's everybody. It's aunties, uncles, teachers, everybody. Like somebody needs to see that kid. Like, hey, this kid needs guidance. And I know everybody just seems like they're doing their own thing. Nobody's really paying attention right now. Everybody just kind of paying attention to what their needs. Nobody's really. It's not like back when we were kids, when the whole neighborhood can whoop your butt. You know what I'm saying? It's like I ain't messing with those kids. Them kids, as long as they stay out my way, they all right.
And see, you validating what Kerry said at the beginning, is that it's a cultural thing too, because there's still coaches out there that their kids are going to be in the top 5% of the class. You go to a biracial, bicultural school, there's some coaches where you expect them to be at the top.
And they're afraid. The kids are afraid of not being at the top. Like literally, they will cry tears at an 89. And it's not that these kids are smarter. That's why I'm saying, that's why I don't agree with the dumb part, Nate. It's because I don't say that they're smarter. I would say that they have a environment that is forcing them. They don't have a choice. You ain't got.
That's
you
my
can be
thing,
high
bro.
IQ all you
I'm
want.
not
You don't have a
saying
choice.
stupid or dumb in the sense of you actually can't understand something.
Yeah,
you choose
it. It's that you're not trying, bro.
Yeah,
your parents ain't trying. Your parents are not doing what them other kids that you're talking about parents are doing. They're not building that environment for you because they're letting you sit there and just get by because, oh, whatever, it's just school. Go ahead, get out with your degree. Because you're absolutely right. These other kids are on that from day one. That's instilled in you. And if we're not doing that in our community, what does that reflect on us as?
But see, look at now when you bring it back to us now, to where it's just practical for us as grown men and women, you know what I'm saying? If you in your job and you're a minimalist in your job, that's no different than being a minimalist in the classroom, because you're just getting the job done. And when you're a minimalist, usually it's easiest to fall to the bottom. You're the first ones to, you know what I'm saying, get your paycheck cut, get your hours cut. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that catches the brunt of everything, right? And a lot of times those types of people just kind of keep bringing in the same type. That I make kids that think like me, that go through the school system like I do. And when you're a minimalist, the margin for error is so small, bro. Like you already a minimalist. So like, because you have no real interest, you're just trying to get through every day, you know what I'm saying? Just boom, boom, boom. It's real rote. There's no passion. There's no excitement about your life. Then yeah, you may fall into the category of low performer in English, math, social studies, whatever, because you don't have any interest in that building. This has nothing to do with reading for me. I don't give a damn about being here. I don't care about being here. So you looking at my reading and read at 3rd grade level, but in reality, I just never cared about school since 3rd grade. I ain't never cared. If you ask me to get up there and tell this whole school about the policies that we have on dress code, oh, I'm gonna sound like the next Barack Obama, but I don't like it here. That's where my intelligence lies. It lies where it lies, but you haven't unlocked it because you show me all these standardized measures of performance that I'm never gonna meet because I don't got no passion here. I don't care.
That's very true and real. And the conversation of how we need to change the school system is a whole nother thing because a lot of it is what you're saying, but we ain't changing that right now. So you in it, you might as well try to do better with it.
Right. I agree 100%. And I think this is a great time to pivot to legacy. Because, even as we were talking about the things we were talking about before, like Nate touched on, how do you feel like your legacy is going to be left for your kids, or how do you feel like that's going to play out? And Nate, you had an interesting perspective on that, so I'll let you take it, and then we can do like a little bit of a round robin of sorts.
So yeah, I feel like it's really something that you have to think about because really, what is your legacy? Is what you leaving to them, right? A lot of times, and one, I don't even know who I'm giving the credit to. It's a video I seen on Twitter or something, but the point that they were making was ultimately, why are we being so falsely inflated and full of ourselves and thinking that we have this grand legacy and saying, oh, my kids are my legacy, when it's what we talking about? You can't read at a 3rd or 4th grade level, and that's what you passing on to your kids. So it's not like you passing on something good. So what are we really thinking about how we create our legacies? And I don't think that necessarily means, oh, you had to, pass down some millions of dollars or whatever, and you were, just super successful in a financial sense. But did you have a legacy of being somebody who put effort in? Did you have a legacy of being a good person? Did you have all of these things that you actually can transfer to the people who are coming behind you? So I think that's really important to look at when you talk about legacy. Do you want your kids to be your legacy? I think a lot of times, if you got real with yourself and looked in the mirror, you might not say, yeah, I want my kids to be my legacy. Because like what you're talking about just now, I'm a minimalist at work. I was a minimalist at school. I done got fired from 8 jobs because I really wasn't trying. That's the legacy you want for your kids?
Yeah. Some people don't know what their legacy is. They don't have a definitive marker as to what that looks like. And I think for me personally, that's been something I thought about a lot over the last couple of years, especially once Cadence was kind of developing as a toddler, using words, showing her own interests. I was like, man, what kind of opportunities am I going to afford her through my life, through her having a daddy versus not having one? Because a lot of kids don't have one, but this one does. So what advantages, what leverage points did she get from having one? What did I leave for her? And I think that's what, ignited thoughts about, passive income, like ignited thoughts about assets, life insurance policies, all that good stuff. When talking about legacy, that's the stuff that comes to my brain. It's like, what is K.Sloan doing today to where it's Cadence Sloan and Cadence Sloan's kids and her kids can eat? That's legacy. We can't just look at the bread we make today and say, okay, we hit 10 bands this month, we winning. Like, well, 10 bands can get spent a lot of different ways and it'd be gone like that. What are we leaving that's going to be, forever, eternal, in a way, as eternal as we can make it. But that's why I think about that legacy piece.
I think that's a divided street. What Nate was saying, where you kind of haven't done anything, but what legacy have you left? Because it could be a legacy of something that's not actually seen. It could be of morals, it can be of knowledge, it can be ethics, it can be a couple of things. But then again, I know what you're talking about, Nate, because some people will say that their legacy is their kids just simply because they're keeping on the name, they're keeping on the looks, they're keeping on, a reference point as to what family they come from. So
right.
as far as that part of it, as kind of, without being negative, it's kind of on the parent. I mean, some people grow from nothing and learn everything from everything that their parents are not. Like, you hear a lot of people that become very wealthy in the span of under 30 years that would say their parents were so poor, they came from such poor upbringings that they vowed not to be that, and they know what not to do because they seen, the people before them, what they did with whatever income they got or however they move through life. But they didn't get a legacy from them. They just got knowledge from them. Right. But like Carrie was saying, what legacy have you left? Not just in a tangible sense, but if you left something for them to be either even with the 8 ball or in front of the 8 ball instead of behind the 8 ball, then I think that's something that you can take forth in life and even pass on to the next generation.
Yeah, and I think leaving something is great, but teaching them how to use what I leave is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if the life insurance, if you have $1 million life insurance policy, you pass it on to your kids, your grandkids, or even a house or land, you know, they can mess it up in a year. They can blow money. They can mess up a house. They can sell it to the wrong people. You have to teach people how to use the legacy you leave. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing I want. When I have kids, I want them to be respectful, you know, good humans, but I also want them to know, lead by example. I want them to see me work hard, but I also want them to know what to do with what I leave. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to mess. I don't want to leave here and then the Jones kids F up everything I did. You know what I'm saying? So,
facts. That's really what it means, bro. Like, I'm Nathaniel Golden III. I'm proud to have my granddaddy name because of the man I saw my granddaddy be, right? I saw somebody say that the other day. Your kid is learning how to be a person by watching you.
Right.
That's what your legacy is.
Yeah. We the patriarchs, you know what I'm saying? Specifically, we the patriarchs of our legacy, of our name, you know, and we are getting to the point where we becoming the elders. You know what I'm saying? We grew up seeing elders, but we getting closer and closer to becoming those figureheads of our lineage. And I think it's real important that we reflect on that. And then we think about, you know, I was talking to one of my peers, and he was stressed out, man. He was real stressed. He called me. He was talking about some issues he's having with some other entities with like partnership issues. Like he got basically cut out on some money. And he was saying, you know, he thinks it's unfair. He's like, this ain't right. It shouldn't win like this or whatever. And he kind of seemed like he was giving me quitting energy. And I told him, I was like, bro, you know, and his son's a part of the other entity that he's trying to partner with. And his son, I told him, I was like, bro, your son watching everything you're doing. Like, at the end of the day, if you struggle and quit in this situation, then what you gonna show your son is that, you know what I'm saying, it's not when I grow up, will I quit or, you know, am I gonna quit in situations? Like, when am I gonna quit? Because I saw my daddy quit. So when I saw my daddy, my leader, the person I looked up to, my role model, they showed me this is how far it goes. This is the end of the road right here. And now psychologically, I'm always gonna have to fight that. Like when I become a man, I'm just waiting for that moment when I'm gonna break. And you showed me how to do that. So I think that kind of stuck with me ever since that conversation I had with him. I was like, man, you know, I'm going through things at times that may seem insurmountable, but why not die fighting? Because the legacy needs me to continue to fight. Like they need to see me fighting the entire time. I can't take a break and say, all right, well, that part was just too difficult. And if you look at the stats, most of us don't get there anyway. It's like, no, because my daughter's watching. She knows everything Daddy does. She knows I got podcasts. She knows I got a book. She knows you know what I'm saying? I train people. She knows I'm a teacher. She tells people. She sometimes catches herself modeling herself after me. And I'm like, you know, okay, like I want you to be your own person. But she's watching. They're watching us. The legacy is watching.
And that's strong too, man. Off of the story you just told, because I know kids that have seen that and will never get to their full potential because it's like, well, my parents always quit. They never pushed through, or the person that I was following always did this and they doing just fine, or they doing okay in life. And it sets the standard for them. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fine. This how life would be for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, even if you don't make it to the finish line, if you could pass the baton, I know most people know who Steve Harvey is. His dad worked in a coal mine. He watched his dad work so hard and work so strongly for what he wanted and for the provision for his family. So that's why he works the way he does. And he's taking the baton and taking it to another level because of what he does. But Steve Harvey, Nick Cannon, all these guys, celebrity-wise, you see them work more than one job from something like that. If you got a quitter's mentality from your legacy holder that gave it to you, you'll never get to those points. And it's not all about money. It's people. I'll use myself for an example. A lot of people respect me for being dependable and being on time. You know where I got that from?
His dad. But no, yeah. I was about to say, when I was a kid, my granddad told me, if you start something, you're gonna finish it. He said, I don't care if it's the worst thing in the world. If I started playing hockey and I can't skate, I better crawl. Because he said you can't quit. He's like, if you're gonna go over there and sign your name on that paper, you finishing the whole season. And I mean, even college, like, I'm not gonna lie, I did want to finish college, but there was times where I wanted to quit. You know what I'm saying? Especially the second master's carrier. I didn't want to be there, but I started it. You know, so it's like, hey, I signed my name on that paper. I gotta finish. You know? So it's stuff like that stick with you.
No, I do stick with you. It's like it kind of like a rerunning record in your brain, and it enforces like who you are, and you know those things that we build ourselves on. I think those are the things that we have to covet and protect, especially when it comes to, you know, just the other parts of our legacy, the other people that, you know what I'm saying, we trying to make sure we cultivate what we got for. So yeah, that's what I think about with it. And I like that topic a lot because I think there's a lot of people that don't really consider it, you know, especially when, like, it makes me think about last year when the Freaknik thing kind of happened. And you got all these, you know what I'm saying, posts that people talking about, hey, your mama might be in that video if you know, you might not want to look on there if you was born in the in the 80s and about the, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I'm like, imagine them women and the men back then that just had no idea that this was creating a legacy. Like, this is
never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching. Big Brother's always watching, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always videos, there's always recordings.
Can I pose a question that's adjacent to that, but it's in the same vein? How would you help a kid or elaborate to somebody younger how to create a legacy if they don't have one to follow?
By telling them that they can create their own path, that you're not really bound to whatever came before you, whether good or bad. Because it's good people out there who have kids that are total failures. Like, it's not just one way. So you your own person.
Yeah.
It's literally ask them the question of what do you want your actual legacy to be, and go and create that for yourself.
And figure it out. Y'all young kids know how to figure it out. Go look it up. Go, you know, watch some videos, watch YouTube, figure out what you want to do, and then figure out how to do it. I mean, it's easy. I can't say it's easy to do, but it's easy to get the information.
And I'll say that the environment again, I think if you find your way into a group that is creating legacy of some sort, if you have no one to follow, but you feel the strength in this group or in these people that are somehow going somewhere that they're passionate in, they're interested in, just hang out. Like, if they big on, like, you know, their Roblox community and they're building the biggest Roblox community on Discord or some platform, and you got this 3 people and they kind of cool, just hang out and see what's the interest, what's, you know, what makes you want to be an administrator of a group, build a community, and, you know, fund your endeavors as a 15-year-old. Like, what you got going on in your brain? Because I know one day I might want that in my brain for something else. I think that's the one thing I do now that I wish I had done when I was a younger man, is I look at people that are doing things and they're actively making progress, and I just listen to them talk. I don't even know what you're talking about sometimes, but I just let you talk, because through your processing and your systems, you may make something click for me, like that I could take over here to my world. My world's not your world, but you have a world. So what you got going in your world? You know what I'm saying? Just being open. And to perspective, everybody's perspective is different. You know what I'm saying? It made me think about, like, the y'all seen Spider-Man, the new one that came out recently?
The Miles Morales joint?
The Miles Morales. Yeah. Not the clarification to tell me, nah.
Well, because I seen the other one. I seen My Way Home.
Oh man, Cadence put me on. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for Cadence, but it made me think about, it's Cadence, right? But no, it made me think about how, like, in that movie, they showed multiple universes, the same Spider-Man, but just different universes. And I just feel like that's kind of us sometimes. We the same Spider-Man, same J.Jones is somewhere in Pakistan. He's somewhere in Hong Kong. He's somewhere. The real talk. These people are doing some of the same things we're doing, but just in a different universe. And if you catch a glimpse of that, then just pay attention. Just see that that's like a young me or like an older me. Let me see what they got going. Catch some game and use it, maybe.
That's a subject for a podcast to come. Is the benefits of social skills.
Oh yeah, we can hit that one for sure because that's instrumental. But man,
don't have your legacy being popping perks and twerking on the internet. Y'all can be better than that.
Man, just stop being distracted. That's what that is. You being distracted. You letting distractions run your lifestyle. And that's, you only gonna want to be distracted for so long before reality gonna smack you in your face. And it's gonna say, this is you. You know, you will wake up. You will.
Hopefully.
You will.
Hopefully.
We're gonna wake them up. We turn the light on. We'll keep the light on for you. We'll keep the light on for you.
We Motel 6?
We Motel 6. We'll keep the light on for you. Now we be a light, BAL. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. You feel me? Make sure y'all like and subscribe. We're giving y'all y'all content every week, y'all. I mean, what else you want, man? Y'all still sleep? I don't know.
Send your kids to DeMarcus boot camp. He'll make them run till they better.
Go up. To heat time. You better start reading. No audiobooks either.
No audiobooks.
No audiobooks.
And don't use your finger either. Don't use your finger. Use your eyes. That's what Nate says.
Hey,
what's up? What you trying to say, man? You like trying to get it out?
I don't want to make audiobooks to look
it every day.
Huh?
What'd you say, DeMarcus?
I don't want to like demonize audiobooks. Because I've watched a kid that from a 504 meeting that it was deemed like, oh, they're okay, just let them read, just let them use audiobooks. And he had his headphones on to sleep. So it's just it goes back to the application of what it's used for. And some kids, if you don't explain it all the way and kind of monitor them or even micromanage them, then I just don't think that it's always the end all answer. Not saying that it doesn't work, but
all people are different.
Audiobooks are good, but you have to have some kind of care there, bro. Like you to not be able to look at words on the paper and process what they mean is not good. Because how does that affect your life? Are you ever gonna sign a contract? It's not an audiobook for a contract.
But there are professionals that'll read your contract to you.
Oh my God.
And we'll
now you're losing more money. Now you're losing more money.
I'm sorry. That's a bad example.
You know what?
That's a bad example.
Took a lot of money from Fantasia.
But here's my idiot of the week. I believe our boy name is Javon Dexter, the DT at Florida State. How you get put in a 360 NIL deal where you done gave up your career earnings, 20+% of your career earnings for 30 years in the NFL? Ain't nobody read the paper.
Nah, it's too much reading. They put 11 pages together and said
they want this much for 30 years. The average NFL contract in lifespan is 4 to 5 years if you're lucky. And you want it for 30 piece? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna put my name on that one though, because I'm gonna give me a little check off the NIL.
Be like reading camp coming soon for adults and children.
No audiobooks.
No audio. Hey, you know what? We don't have audiobooks if you want to buy them. If you want to buy the audiobook, you can buy the audiobook.
It's a joke.
You trying to... Well, it's been a great podcast, y'all. How we unlocking the lights?
You guys let Nate do his dummy of the week. Do you got one?
Oh, my bad.
That's what we talked about. That's because Kerry put it on my mind. I really don't have one.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna be nice to y'all, but my dummy of the week is Cowboy Nation.
Oh, okay. All right. How you unlock the light?
Ooh, I love to see it.
My dummy of the week is K.Sloan for the Bears jersey. I wouldn't be ripping that.
Hey, bro, we took a dub last week. Everybody on this call can't say that.
Y'all might have.
He doesn't watch football.
Everybody can say that.
Here, did you see J.Jones catch the ball on his back and juke a man and score a touchdown?
That's called a dub.
No. Did you know
Kerry ain't see that because he ain't even respond when I sent that highlight of him to the group.
I think you were wrong about Bijan.
I didn't say what I say about Bijan.
Every time I
he wasn't that guy.
I didn't say that. I never said that. I said
we have it recorded.
I said that his career could be short, like most NFL running backs.
And I said, they said we were talking about rookie of the year before the season. I said, oh, probably Bijan. You were like, thumbs down. No, I remember that too because I said he said the same thing about Zeke.
Hey,
he went for 1,600.
I'm not, bro. I'm biased because I played it. I'm not team running back, bro. I'm sorry. It's like you're not gonna sell me on running backs, bro. Like not for rookie of the year.
Running back.
I know.
You're running back.
But that's why I know. That's why I know. It's not easy, bro. It hurts.
There's not a running back out there that was better than him. So
not when I was playing.
Yeah, that's the mindset you should have.
Not when I was playing.
However, now that you retired, put some respect on that man's name.
Hey, respect. Love to him. But hey, you know what? Hey, he need to hop on the podcast before I put some real respect. Well, come out here and talk. Let's go talk, Bijan. Let's talk that talk. Well, I ain't putting too much respect on your name. You're just a running back to me, brother.
Ooh.
Brother. Great one. A great one. Just a running back. Is it a great one? You're a great running back. Just a running back. With that being said,
well, football endorsements for us.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't. Anybody. I'm gonna stop talking.